We're almost a Jill sandwich.
You're right.
Hi everybody, this is the second episode of Jetpack Ninjas. I'm your host, Natalie. Right now we have Eric.
Hey.
And Jerry with us.
Hey.
I'm sure Tony and Mark will be joining us later, I hope. But we'll get right into this. Eric, what are you playing?
I have been playing Tecmo Super Bowl for about the last week straight of my life.
Oh.
For my video series.
Which I have seen when you were playing, what was the other one? The NBA one.
Oh, NBA Jam?
Those. Yeah, I watched those. I was like, yeah, that's...
Yeah, I screwed that one up a little bit. The whole thing is I'm supposed to go through like an entire season of the game undefeated, and I screwed up. So I had to start a second season with Tecmo Super Bowl.
Hey, that's isn't that the point of it though? If you can't do it, then you don't finish.
Well, I can do it. And
well, I mean, I didn't say that you can't. I mean, if you don't do it, you just that's it.
Yeah. But Tecmo Super Bowl, I've had a couple of close calls in the last couple of weeks of, like the week in the game. But yeah, everything's going pretty well with it right now.
Are you playing anything else?
Yes, I just recently played through Quackshot on the Sega Genesis. And I love that game to death. It's a very good game.
So, Jerry, how about you?
I haven't had a whole lot of time to play games just because launching the new website and a lot of real life stuff. But I have been playing a little bit of Assassin's Creed, the original. I am probably the only person on the planet that hasn't played it yet.
Me.
No, well, you don't count.
I don't count because I haven't played so many games. I really can't. I mean, the thing is, because I'm so. I get like caught up into certain games, and that's what I want to play. So,
it's fantastic, though.
What, getting caught up in games?
No, Assassin's Creed.
Oh, okay.
The first one, I'm not really in love with it.
Really?
It feels kind of tedious to me, and it may just be because I'm playing the PC version, but it's buggy as hell.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
I hear, though, that the second one is a lot better, so I'm going to play all the way through it so I can get to that one. I actually bought it in a 2-pack at Target for $10, which I'm pretty happy with.
Hey, you got some good deals at Target.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, if you could catch them, right? But
right.
and if your spouse lets you buy at that time.
Yes. Very much that.
Yeah.
I've also been playing Mega Man Legends, which is going to be the next video review game, so I don't want to spoil anything on that, but it's a good game.
I bet you could name bosses now.
Not from Legends, no.
Really? Tony, you're here now, huh?
Hi.
Yeah. What have you been playing?
I've been playing some Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. Only because recent news of Black Ops 2 has me intrigued. So I wanted to get through the ones I hadn't gone through yet, because I hadn't played one since the first Modern Warfare.
Yeah.
So I'm just kind of dinking around in that. Otherwise, I keep meaning to restart Dragon Age, because I was only like 5 hours in and I forgot everything. But I have to get back to that. And also played a little bit of, well, I shouldn't say a little bit. I played a lot of Rock Band 3 this week. And I mentioned this before on another show, but it's just right now that's kind of my way of getting my music fix, because I listen to too many podcasts, so I don't get a chance to listen to music on my MP3 player or whatever. So that's how I ingest music, is through Rock Band right now.
Hey, you do what you do.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been playing. Of course, I said I've been playing Skyward Sword, and I ended up having a problem with that because I have the attachment for the Wii Motion Plus, and it messed up. And then, because it kept telling me my nunchuck was messed up, and I was like, oh, and I ended up replacing it 4 or 5 times. The first time I was like, okay, I had this before. I've had this one for a while. Maybe it is. And then after this time, I was like, no, this can't be it. And it was like, so then I went and tested it on other games, and it was fine. So I realized, okay, it's this attachment. So I've got to replace that, and then I can actually finish. Because I am within an hour of finishing the game. So I'm so angry about this.
What about Zelda 2, though?
What?
What about Zelda 2, though?
Ha 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 ha. I can get I get maybe an hour or 2 into the game, and then then that's it. I die and then have to start over. So Zelda 2, yeah, I've got to get back to trying that one out soon, because that's actually, it's about time for me to try it again.
It is about time.
And I've been playing Mass Effect 3. If you've been following me on Twitter, I've been playing that. And oh my goodness, the series is so, it just wraps you up inside it. You have no choice but to get involved with these characters, and no matter how hard I want to be, because I'm very much Renegade, but no matter how hard I want to be, there are certain characters that you just, okay, I have a heart for you, it's just, I love the series. I really am enjoying it. So I've got to get my multiplayer done before I can move on, and I'm not very good. But with the multiplayer, it's like everybody's running around crazy, and it's like, why don't you go about this in a little more organized fashion? But no, everybody has to get all gung-ho and, attack, head on, instead of like in the game, I'm very cover. I like cover, and I like, to work together. And you don't get that in the multiplayer. There is no working together. It's all every man for himself type thing.
If you're playing with randoms, that's usually how it tends to be.
Yeah, well.
Yep.
I'm going to have to find some people who have a PC version, because I need a little more organization. Because it's like I don't have any way of getting anywhere, because I'm pretty much fighting myself. Then I played some Adventure Island today too.
Oh, I love Adventure Island.
Actually, because my husband's like, oh, that looks familiar. I said, yeah, it looks a lot like Super Mario Brothers. It does. It obviously is a platformer and has some of the same elements. The controls are really loose. Really, really loose. It's just, your jump is...
Yeah.
And when you run, it likes to continue to slide a little bit, and getting the hang of that, and yeah, because I haven't played it in a long time, so I had completely forgotten about all that stuff. So now, Mark, since I've talked everyone's ear off, because I really go off on, I really enjoy Mass Effect. So, what have you been playing lately?
Well, I've been playing. I got redundant about 3 weeks ago, and I've been playing Banjo-Kazooie ever since I got made redundant. Basically, I must have put about 25 hours into that.
Yeah, you liked that game a lot, didn't you?
I did, because I never played it before.
Yeah,
and everyone was amazed that I didn't, so I thought, right, I'll play it because it was on Xbox Live.
Mm-hmm.
So I gave it a download, and it was fantastic. Really, really good.
I read that, so...
Yeah. Yeah, I felt I had to write about it. That's just how I am. If I like something, I write about it.
Yeah. So, have you been playing anything else?
Max Payne.
Max
Just got
Payne.
that yesterday. Yeah. Anyone else played that?
The
Not-
first one?
No, the new one.
Oh no, not the new one yet.
Yeah, I haven't picked it up yet.
Oh, I'm a little unimpressed about it at the moment.
I
Did
have
you like-
heard both ways.
Yeah, it's been very mixed.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's like it's the gameplay is the worst part because it tries it's sort there's a cover system in it which is a bit odd because it's meant to be about diving around open areas, but there's loads of cover, so it's sort of forced you to do cover, and then in that way it doesn't really make you feel like you're playing Max Payne. It just makes you feel like you're playing Gears of War or something. So it's a bit strange.
Well, and the thing is, I've heard, the previous ones had a lot of humor, and this one doesn't to the degree that the other ones did.
Yeah, it's a bit depressing, the story.
So,
Yeah.
Well, and that's the thing. The original two games were Remedy's baby, and they moved on to do the Alan Wake series. And Rockstar has the helm on this new Max Payne game, and that's been my primary worry since I heard about it, because it's always been, like I said, it's always been Remedy's baby.
I think I remember you tweeting something about that, about how Rockstar might screw it up.
Well, I don't necessarily think that they'll screw it up so much. I mean, Rockstar makes great games. Nobody can deny that.
Yeah.
But I don't know that they can make a Max Payne game, which you just kind of confirmed.
Yeah. Well, it seems like they've taken the game, they've taken it on, but they felt uncomfortable making it, which is why, it's been through these delays, isn't it? It's been a long time coming, and you could tell they've wrestled with the game, and it's probably not come out quite the way the fans of Rockstar are probably expecting it, which is why you've got the mixed reaction.
So, well, I guess then we get to move on to the two games that are against each other, and Eric chose Metal Gear Solid, right?
Yes, I did.
And Mark, you chose Metroid Prime?
Yep.
Okay. First, Twitter. You guys, honestly, I think you will be surprised because I really thought Metal Gear Solid was going to blow Metroid Prime out, even though Metroid Prime is a fantastic, and actually it's my choice.
Okay.
It was a 7-7 tie.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
Ooh.
Come on.
Well, we picked two good games then.
Yes, and well, the thing is, like we were surprised last time with A Link to the Past and White Chrono Trigger, and how Link to the Past totally killed Chrono Trigger in Twitter.
Which surprises me about that, too.
Yes, and that's why this ended up being surprised in completely the opposite way.
See, I wasn't so much surprised because clearly Link to the Past is better, but but it seems like Chrono Trigger is like that kind of sexy pick that people will be like, oh, that's the best soundtrack or that's the best JRPG on the system or whatever. So I thought that would have a little bit better of a showing. But yeah.
Well, they both represent their genre at that time as they are the best.
Yeah.
Yes, and so it definitely was a very good pairing, and it shows that people really feel strongly about those two games, and obviously people feel strongly about these two games too. And I went and I looked up on it's a game rating site. I can't remember the name of it right now.
Metacritic?
No, I can't remember right now. And actually, Metal Gear Solid had a 9.2 out of 10, and Metroid Prime was 8.9. So again, they're really closely ranked.
Yeah.
And so once I saw that, this 7-7 didn't surprise me, but at the time it did when I first got all the results. So now. let's go through. Who is for Metroid Prime? Because I am.
Well, obviously me.
Yes, obviously you.
Yeah.
So that means you three are Metal Gear Solid.
Yes.
Yep.
All the way.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Could call it a 3-2 not a tie, a 3-2 victory then for Metal Gear, I suppose.
Yes. They're one vote ahead overall.
Yeah.
So now I have to admit I haven't ever played Metal Gear Solid. It's another one I've never played.
You have to play it.
I will. There are so many games. Metroid Prime. The thing is, I have played it, and that was many years ago. And I'm also, very partial to the Metroid series. So, I think that again, just like A Link to the Past, I would still feel a connection there instead of
Mm-hmm.
Well, you could always pick up Twin Snakes on the GameCube and just play it on your Wii, because that's phenomenal as well. I can't talk highly enough about the game.
Okay.
Yep.
I will add that to my list. I've got so many games on that list.
I'll have to add it to mine because I've never played it as well. Which is probably a surprise. I know. I've not played. I've played them all, but I've never managed to finish them. Which probably surprises you. I don't know what it is about them. I think I'm a little intolerant to cutscenes, which are too long. That's one of my downfalls with gaming.
Yeah.
I just like when I play games, it's more. They've got to be sort of fast paced, basically. If cutscenes go on for too long, I'll lose interest.
And I have that same problem too. When the cutscene lasts more than 2 minutes,
you
get
sort
bored.
of want it to be. Yeah, you want it to be pacey.
Yeah.
I mean, they probably are pacey for the fans, but for me, they outstay their welcome when it comes to the cutscenes, and that's why I didn't even touch Guns of Patriots. Was it on the PS3?
Yeah, the fourth one.
The fourth one, yeah. I knew it wouldn't be, my cup of tea, so I never bothered playing that one. But people do say the first one is the best one out of the lot. I don't know if you agree with that.
Yeah, I agree with it.
I'm actually a bigger fan of the third.
Oh.
Yeah, Snake Eater is that.
I'm partial to 2.
I would put 3 ahead of 1, ahead of 2. I haven't played the fourth yet. I own a copy.
So you have the limited edition of the fourth one when that came out. So I got the Blu-ray and everything with it.
Yeah, that's what I got too. I bought it from someone off Amazon for like $65. But I've never had a PS3 to play it.
I have to admit, the third one, the last, the boss fight, is amazing. Even on the PS2, it's amazing. It's so beautiful.
I still say that the third Metal Gear Solid has my favorite ending of all time right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I have my heart is for that series for the most part.
Okay.
One thing to keep in mind, Natalie, if you decide to play the Twin Snakes version, it is the single most over-the-top version in the entire series.
Yeah.
How is it over the top? Because there are different ways that, and I have my preference for over the top.
Right. The cutscenes were directed by Ryohei Kitamura. Have you ever seen any of his movies, Versus or?
Oh, I love Versus.
Versus is great.
Versus. Has anyone else seen that? Or is it just us two?
I haven't.
No, I haven't either.
What movie do you? I don't know.
It's called Versus. It is, as in someone versus someone versus. It's just I don't know what you could call it. Could you call it a Splatterfest from Japan? Something like that.
Kind of, sort of, yeah. I mean, you've got samurai and you've got yakuza and you've got zombies and.
That's actually.
It's a cluster of genres basically from Japan.
No, I have not
all in one film.
seen that, but.
Well, the director did the cutscenes for that game. He also did the cutscenes for Devil May Cry 3.
Okay.
So if you've seen that, you've kind of got an idea of the tone, but the action is just kind of ridiculous. The most cited scene that everybody thinks is ridiculous is he actually kicks a missile back to a helicopter.
Okay. So it's funny, ridiculous, and it's
Yes.
funny over the top. Okay, that I can handle. If it's making fun of itself, that's gonna be great. I can handle it.
It's mostly the scenes containing a certain character too. Like in the original version, I mean, it was still kind of, it had some what do you call it? It was a little far-fetched in certain ways, but it never really had like a visual representation of that. But in the Twin Snakes version, it's like, yeah, we're just gonna put it out there.
Okay, and I think I can handle that. You know, because I like humor, so I think that's like a total understatement for every human being. I like humor.
I
like
enjoy
to
things
laugh.
that are funny.
I love laughing.
Yes. Actually, there are some people who don't, so they like to be miserable. So there we go. We say Metal Gear Solid is the winner of this today, and I'm satisfied with that because I can't really argue.
Well, yeah. I've never played Metal Gear, so I couldn't really compare. But just quickly with Metroid Prime, it's the only game where I have felt sort of immersed into a game, like where you actually feel part of the world that you're playing through.
Mm-hmm.
I can't think of any other game that's done that for me, which is why I chose that one, where you sort of get a sense of the isolation that you have. I mean, you could say that for the other Metroid games, but because this was in 3D, it felt more like you were lost in this world.
Yeah.
And it just sort of compelled you to explore, which is what it's all about, really. So that is why I chose that game. It's the only game that I felt lost in, felt a part of.
Yeah. And I agree that it does do that. So.
We've argued that case a little bit then.
Yeah. All right, and so I guess we're going to move on to this article, which is actually quite long, and I have to read it because that's what I do. And it's actually by Nolan McBryde. He is a writer over at Twin Infinite. He also writes for Nightmare Mode. But this one is about offline gaming. And actually, I'm going to just summarize because it is quite long. And
I can see it now. It's really long.
Yeah.
And if somebody,
for the best.
Yeah, if somebody
Yeah.
wants to read it, because it really is, it's a good read, and I really enjoy his writing, so I'm going to say it's a good read. It's about how for quite a while he didn't have internet. There was an error, and so he didn't have internet for about 2 weeks, and he was trying to play some games that have achievements and multiplayer and things that you can do online, and the system kept telling him you're not connected to the internet, and you can't compare your score to your buddies over here because you're not connected to the internet. And more or less, he's asking that companies respect offline gamers more than they, because they aren't. They're saying, hey, you need to be connected to the internet to get the full, everything from this game. I mean, yes, there are additional things, but you should not have to connect to the internet to finish a game. And the thing is that's what frustrated me about ME3 here. Is I do have to connect to the internet and play multiplayer to get to the 100% ready. I'm only 50% ready until I get all of this time in, and I'm not very good, so it's going to take a lot of time. Companies need to be more respectful to offline gamers and give them the option of maybe doing something different to build up these achievements. I don't know. Have any of you encountered this problem?
I don't know if I've had a problem with being offline or having to be connected, because I mean I live in an area where it's allowed to, like I have access to a decent connection, so it's not a problem.
Mm-hmm.
But it's becoming increasingly closer that companies are going to want to do everything digitally and have you download everything, or we're kind of already halfway there in the sense that you can buy a game, but it's not necessarily a finished product, because as soon as you pop it in day one, you get a patch.
Yeah.
So to me, it's a bit of a problem, just in the sense that if I were a consumer in an area of the country where the internet isn't prevalent, or I can't afford to be able to have, say broadband or whatever kind of internet, I'm screwed. Like, I have a broken product in my hand if I buy a game that I can't patch.
Right.
And that's something that I'm really, my opinion on that is really like, I guess I'm passionate against needing that connection all the time, because those kind of consumers get left out of the fun in a way. So a recent example would be like the Skyrim debacle with PS3, and as your save file grew in size, your lag would get worse and worse. Did I specify PS3?
Yes.
Yeah.
You did, yeah.
So players who bought it on there and don't have a way to connect to the internet, like, they could never get that fixed. Like, eventually that game is going to break.
Wow.
So I don't understand how publishers and developers and console makers can feel like they can alienate their market like that without doing something about it, or instructing stricter guidelines as to the quality of your released product.
Yeah.
Well, and that was the way it was before patches. I mean, this has always been an issue in the PC gaming world, because they would rush it out and just say, oh, well, we can patch it, so no problem.
Right.
Prior to this, even back as early as the GameCube or PS2, if you put out a bad, buggy product, it just didn't sell.
Right, because word would get out.
Right. And then if they wanted to fix it at a later time, they would just put out like a greatest hits version, like they did with Metroid Prime. The greatest hits version of Metroid Prime actually fixes a game-breaking bug in it.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, I've made this argument over and over again against the whole digital-only future, because, as a collector, I can grab one of these N64 games and stick it in and play it anytime I want to, way off into the future. But, the games that I have on the Vita, or that I've downloaded on Live Arcade or on PSN, in 50 years, if those networks are gone, there's nothing to authenticate against, and I can't play those games anymore.
Even if they keep, they continue these networks, 20 years down the line, they might not continue the servers that those games are on.
Yeah. Well, that happened recently with a lot of the Midway games that were released on XBLA, because when Midway had some problems, they took everything off the server, and then people who had bought those games, if they had deleted them during that time, there was no way for them to re-download them. Right. So it was almost like they got the game taken away from them until somebody could come in and reacquire the licenses for those games or whatever. Like Doom just recently went back up like a few months ago.
Mm-hmm.
So, and in the case of servers, like with other games, it's like if you buy a sports game now and you can play online right away, but say in a year and a half, 2 years, when a couple more releases of that series have come out, they're going to eventually shut down that game's multiplayer servers, and you lose functionality.
Yeah.
And especially when like a particular season of a game is the better season
over
the newer one, and then you can't even play it anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I do know that some people have host servers that they for particularly popular games. They'll host some of these games that are no longer being hosted by the owning company. I don't know how legal that is because they don't really have the rights to the game.
Right, but that's the other issue is like who has ownership of the product you've paid for.
Yeah, exactly. You paid for this game. You shouldn't be renting it. You should
Right,
be able to have
exactly.
full functionality all the time.
And like when Batman Arkham City came out, day one, I went to the midnight launch for it, got home. By 2 o'clock, I had the DLC for Catwoman downloaded. But if I wasn't online, I wouldn't get to play that part of the missions in the
Right.
game.
Mm-hmm.
You wouldn't have a full game.
Right.
Yeah, they've taken some away from you. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's
Actually,
that's the other side of the argument is the people who don't have that access. They're not even getting full. A full game's worth. Like you pay $60 for something less, essentially.
Right, and that's just it. A lot of the DLC is necessary to further the game for completion. Not, yes, you can finish the game, but you can't complete the game.
Right.
Right.
And if you get the expansion, it could be like 800 points, 1,600 points, so that's more money that you're shoveling into the game.
Yeah, and
on top of the 60.
We shouldn't have to pay so much money to complete a game.
Mm-hmm.
So are they just doing it for money then? Is it just greed behind these developers then?
Yeah.
I think it's a good percentage of it. Like,
yeah,
you can't deny the fact that a lot of these games are designed with the idea of, in the future we're going to put DLC on there. Because like a game like, you could use Mass Effect, some of the older ones, because they had multiple DLC packs. Yeah. But some companies do it in a way that's like now they're being questioned about it. Like Capcom's in a lot of trouble over their on-disc policies.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I read about that.
So, yeah, it's a touchy subject for them to address, really.
With Mass Effect, I didn't feel like I was missing anything. I didn't do any. I mean, I did have a couple that came with the because I got the collector's edition. I actually got that for $10 for the original, and I didn't. So I got a bunch of the DLC that came, that comes with it. But there were still some things that I didn't get. I didn't feel like I was missing anything. I didn't get any DLC for 2, and I definitely didn't feel like I was missing anything there.
Did you get the From Ashes DLC on the 3rd?
No.
Ooh, you should get that.
If you got the collector's edition, I think the From Ashes. Did you get? Actually, I don't know if you're far enough to know.
No,
if you got the character or not.
I am. All that's left is my multiplayer, and then I'm going to get Tim.
Okay, then did you get the Prothean character?
No.
No, well, that's weird.
Nor did I. No, but I didn't get the collector's edition. I just refused to pay.
No. I didn't get a collector's edition for 3. I got it for the first one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Right. In that case, you haven't got the Prothean character for the 3rd one.
No.
And you'd have to pay for it if you did. And you shouldn't really pay for it because it should be on the disc. That's that's my argument anyway. Well, because with Mass Effect 2, the DLC packs they did weren't story-centric in a way. It wasn't to do with the plot of the main game that you had. They acted as side bonus missions. So they continued the story in a way, but not in a way that you needed to download them to finish it completely, if you know what I mean.
So the Prothean character really is necessary for this story because
it's not. He's not necessary, but
it's for the war assets, I think, isn't it?
I think what bothers me about that particular DLC is that most DLCs in Mass Effect is like, it's a side mission, you might get a character, blah blah blah, you're done. With this Prothean one though, when you get into conversations with him and the way he interacts with the other characters, and one in particular that I won't spoil, there's some major facts that you're going to miss by not having him on your
so you learn more of the story and what things so you know exactly what's going on.
Not so much in pertaining to the story of the third game, but pertaining to the lore as a whole.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. It's like the history of it all.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, it adds a lot to the backstory, and honestly, I would call it required, personally, just because having played through it and getting all the extra story really gives you kind of a picture of the whole of what happened before Shepard came into everything.
Yeah.
Okay. We're going to have, just saying this now, we're going to have a Mass Effect podcast at some point. And at that point, we can reveal this information because I really want to know, and I don't really have the money to go and spend on anything right now. So,
listeners, if you want to donate,
hey, I will always say, hey, if you want to donate to my gaming, my husband would appreciate that. I would too. So,
do you have a PayPal?
Yes, of course I do.
Okay, you're golden.
I'm not going to share that information. I will just do. That's just it. I really wouldn't take any money from anybody for gaming.
I will.
Yeah. I'm a lot nicer than I pretend I am. But yeah, so we have. Okay, so we're talking about downloaded content and things like that with the manufacturers of games and consoles being unfair, more or less, to offline gamers. We're all in agreement here that they are more or less unfair.
Right.
I think it really...
Yes, on a whole, yeah.
I think it really separates the market and leaves the unconnected out of a lot of the fun of gaming, really.
Okay. Okay. That's perfect.
And actually, Mass Effect 3 is kind of a good picture of that as well, because the original version of that, you actually bought it after they fixed this, but very shortly after. The original version had a bug where if you created your Shepard in the first game, the face wouldn't translate into the third game.
Mine still didn't translate.
Yeah, mine didn't either.
I mean, I got this game on Tuesday, I think Tuesday or Wednesday, and my face still didn't translate.
Now, did it translate differently, or did it not translate at all?
Differently.
Okay, because the original problem was that people who made a Shepard in the first game didn't alter it in the second game. Right. They would get into the importer and it would say unable to find
and actually, I know some people who even as early as like 2 weeks ago, they had that problem.
Wow.
I had that problem too, but all I did was just took a picture of Shepard from the second game.
Yep.
And just copied it, and it worked out okay. There was a few weird differences which bugged me for a bit, but I got used to that.
Actually,
that's what I did.
I was able to make mine look more like me. So, because her chin and her jawline weren't right in the first two, and her nose, and then all of a sudden, like especially in the close-ups, I was like, wow, I did a good job this time. So. No, she doesn't look exactly like me, but she looks a lot more like me than, in the first two. So, yes, it allowed me to fix it, but it didn't look right. You're right. It didn't look right when it first came in. I was like, what is wrong with this? So, but, all right. So, we are going to now move on to this wonderful game, Tony. Yeah. I'm going to let you explain it again, because if they don't know how it works, it's your baby.
All right. The game is there's no title for it, but basically what happens is we come up with a category that has a multitude of answers, And each of us take turns naming off an answer. The first person... Well, I shouldn't say the first. Basically, if you stumble, take longer than 5 seconds, or repeat an answer, you are eliminated. And last person standing wins, and the rest of us have to suffer a penalty.
Okay, and we have a category, which was the Zelda weapons, right?
Right.
Yep.
Okay.
Are we talking weapons or...
And tools and things like,
Okay.
Yes. Everything that he acquires, I'm considering a weapon because it was used in some way to either make him stronger, make him more formidable. Everything was used in it. It's all important.
All right.
So, how about this acquired item? Does that work better?
That works.
Yeah.
There's a lot more of those, at least.
I was going to say, well...
Well, there are plenty of weapons, too. So, and then I also, if you guys looked at the video, my daughter named off the letter. We're working on letters, so I thought maybe it would be a good idea to integrate her into all this. So, I rolled, it was an A. So Eric is first.
Okay.
And then it is Jerry, me, Mark, and Tony. Sorry, Tony. Your name starts with a Z.
That's fine.
So, and then, this is the best part, the losers, since we have this in place already, the losers, and there will be 4 of us, so we get to speak out the scene from Resident Evil, and one is Jill, the other is Chris, and I don't know the other guy's name, sorry.
Wesker.
What was his name?
Wesker.
Wesker?
Yep.
Alright, and then someone is going to be the sound effects guy. Wesker. So, and somebody's going to be the sound effects guy, and we will then get on with this. So, Eric, Jerry, me, Mark, Tony. Eric, go ahead.
Okay, I'm gonna go with the ice rod.
Jerry.
I would go with the obvious Master Sword.
I'll go with my favorite, bow and arrow. Alright, Mark.
Bombs.
Tony.
Boomerang.
Eric.
Hammer.
Ooh, that was my next one. Jerry.
Wooden sword.
Crap, no, you stole mine. Oh!
3, 4... Too
crap.
long.
I
Too
know
long.
it, because he stole mine. Damn it. Alright.
First loser again.
Yeah, and the thing is, I shouldn't have lost this one. Alright, Mark, it's your turn. Mark?
Oh, sorry, hookshot.
Jerry.
Ooh.
No, not Jerry, Tony.
The red candle.
Nice, Eric.
Blue candle.
Boomerang.
Oh, that's a
Somebody already
repeat.
said that.
That was a repeat? Oh, son of a...
Alright, Mark.
Wooden shield.
Oh. Eric. No, Tony. I'm sorry, Tony.
The blue ring.
Eric.
White sword.
Mark.
Joy pendant.
Alright, Tony.
Medicine powder.
Eric.
The medallions. Quake medallion.
Nice. Mark.
Iron boots.
Tony.
Feather boots, the dash ones.
Ooh, I love those. Eric.
Power bracelet, if that's what it's called.
I know what you're talking about. Alright, Mark.
Minish cap.
Tony.
The little step ladder you can lay across the water.
Okay. Eric.
Does the 1-Up doll from the second game count?
It's an acquired item?
Kind of, yeah.
And there you go. Mark.
Oh, what are they called? Oh no.
All right, time's up.
Yeah.
All right, Tony.
The bottle.
Eric.
The flippers.
Tony.
A raft.
Eric.
The flute?
Tony.
I think I lost.
Time's up.
Damn it.
All right, Eric, you're the winner. You don't have to act anything out. So, did you guys get the email that has this little scene in there?
Yep.
I do have it, yes.
Okay, because each of us has to take a character.
Pull it up.
All right, have fun, guys.
Hey, Eric, you get to assign who gets to be who.
Oh, jeez. All right. So I'm gonna go. Tony as Jill.
Yes. Yes.
And you get to be like totally ditzy.
Oh, I've heard this dialogue so many times. This is gonna be fun.
Yeah, I know. I'm gonna do Jerry as Chris. And Mark as Wesker.
Oh, I get to be the sound effects?
Yeah, I'm taking it easy on you this time.
No, actually, I don't know how to do gunshots, but... Alright.
Is that other dude when you say Wesker, is it?
Yes, that's other dude.
Oh, right, okay.
Because I didn't know the name.
I've never played the first Resident Evil, so I don't know how he sounds, so I'm just going to just do it how I think he might sound.
Did you watch the video, though, in the email?
Is there a video in the email?
Yeah, there is, but it's alright, you don't need... He sounds like a total meathead.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yes.
Okay.
So, alright, Tony, take us.
I don't know what happened.
Barry, where's Barry?
Well, I'm sorry, he's probably...
No. What is that?
I'll go and check.
Okay, Jill and I will stay in the hall in case of an emergency.
Chris. Take care.
And scene.
Thank you.
Alright.
Thank you, everyone.
Bravo, guys.
Tony, you did that beautifully. She sounded very much the same.
I think you played the game before.
The stilted voice acting is so great in that game.
Actually, she was horrible.
Yes.
I was listening to her talk was like jamming an ice pick in my ear.
Chris is pretty bad too.
Go on YouTube. If any of you who haven't played this game or haven't heard much of it, go on YouTube and look up Jill Sandwich.
Okay.
Okay, I will do that.
We're almost a Jill sandwich.
You're right. Oh God, I could voice act Jill right now, like the whole damn game.
Okay, so that actually is. Does anybody have anything else to add? You want us to go to any special sites or anything cool that you've seen recently?
Well, I've been reading today actually about the about Metroid and Star Fox joining together. Has anyone read that today?
Yeah, I just read it a little while ago.
I have not read that yet, and I will have to look that up because that's actually really interesting.
Yes, it is.
And then you got all the comments saying that could it be more Metroid and less Star Fox, which I think is a bit mean, but I think it's quite an interesting, combination.
I think I probably would prefer more Metroid than Star Fox, but again, like I said, I'm kind of partial to the series.
Yeah, I'm partial to both. I mean, I'm happy with both. I love them.
Well, I'm horrible at Star Fox games, so I'm okay with it.
Well, Star Fox hasn't been...
rolls.
Do a barrel roll.
Star Star Fox hasn't really been a great series since Star Fox 64.
Right.
Yeah.
So I kind of agree.
Yeah, I do agree. Up until they ruined it with Star Fox Adventures. To be fair, on the GameCube. But the others are such classics that they shouldn't really be sort of left alone. There's sort of room for they could do something cool if they stick to what they did in the N64 game. Definitely.
Okay. Does anybody else have anything?
Is this the plug segment, so to speak?
Yes, it is. Of course.
I will plug. I do another podcast called The Blank Showcast. That's at blankshowcast.podbean.com. Check it out. I think we're 44 deep now. We got a somewhat decent interview coming. I don't want to reveal it just yet, so...
Ooh, mystery.
Yeah. But that's in the works, so stay tuned. I want to say that's going to happen on the 27th.
Okay.
So that episode will hit a few days later.
Awesome.
And aside from that, not much. Listen, love. Don't forget Jetpack Ninjas.
Oh, yeah, and everyone here also writes for Dojo Retro. So you can, obviously this links to our blog anyway, so Famicomplex has his own site. What is your new site?
Famicomplex.com.
Okay. Mark, do you have anything else?
No, I'll just mention my website quickly, modernretrogamer.com. Just check that out whenever you can. Hoping to put more things related to film in there. I almost scored an interview with a film director, but it cancelled out last minute. But I aim to do more interviews for my website, so like Tony, that's sort of what I'm aiming for too.
All right, and Eric, I know you do.
Oh, I have a site, waxingnostalgic.net, and go to it. I need more subscribers on YouTube because I'm still trying to give away a game.
You haven't gotten that? Oh,
no, I haven't, and it's been like 2 months now. So.
All right, yes, go subscribe to his YouTube. He does reviews and also Chasing Perfection. That's what it's called.
Yes.
And you can watch him try to have a perfect season in different games. So.
Tecmo Super Bowl right now.
Yes.
For the NES.
Nice.
So, check out all these guys' sites, and I will obviously link to everything that we have discussed, so you can check it out for yourself. So, thank you, everybody. Again, it was a good time, and I guess that's all.
Goodbye.
Okay,
Bye.
bye-bye.